We are on the section 6.4, page 42. We are going to talk about special product. We were talking about what last time? Polynomials for multiplication, right? Product means what? The result of multiplication. So we are going to do special kind of multiplication for the polynomials, okay? So let's take a look. If we have this one, x plus 5 times x minus 2. How many terms we have? 2 terms here, 2 terms here. 2 times 2, 4. 4 terms at the beginning. Then you will end up what? 3 terms a lot of time. Okay? So what do? We will do our rainbow, right? X times x is what? X squared, x times -2 minus 2x, right? Then bottom one will be plus 5x, and do the last one, 10 minus 10, right? So we combine like terms. We have x squared plus what? 3x minus 10, right? So 2 terms times 2 terms, we have 4. Then combine the like terms, the middle one, we end up with a trinomial, okay? So the method we call it what? The first one, we call it first, right? Then we do this one, it's what? Outside, outer, so this one is the first. Then next one is outer, right? Then we do this one inside, then we call it what? Inner, right? Then do the last one and last. So the method we call it FOIL, okay? Means what? 2 terms times 2 terms. Then you need to use what? Distributive properties and to do the multiplications. So we are going to do special kind of multiplications for the polynomials. Okay, 2 terms times 2 terms for a reason. All right, and let's see. If we have 2x minus 3, 4x minus 5, we just practice the FOIL. Okay, 2x times 2x, 4x is what? 8x squared, right? 2x times -5 is what? Minus x, right? Bottom one, -3 times 4x is what? Minus 12x. Then last is plus 15, right? 4 terms. Then we will combine the like terms. We line them up already. So 8x squared minus 22x plus 15. Right? Straightforward. That's the first one. Let's do second one. So 3xy plus 1. How many terms we have? 2. Then 2xy minus 9. How many terms we have? 2. 2 terms times 2 terms. We will use what? FOIL. Right? 3xy times 2xy is what? 6. 2 of the x squared, and y squared. Right? Then the outer, 3 times 9 minus 27 of x and y, right? The inner, 1 times 2 plus 2 of xy, right? Then last, 1 and 9 is -9. 4 terms. Then we combine like terms. That would be 6x squared y squared minus 25xy y minus 9. Right? You need to practice this. Okay? If we are in class, then you will have hands-on. And here, we'll write the question first. You can try it yourself. Then check if you have same answer. You can do that way too. Okay? So you practice once in class during the lecture time, then you do homework. So it's better that way. So first, x squared times x squared, x fourth, right? Then alter x squared minus 5 is 5 minus x squared, right? That means what? You do the first one, then distribute to everyone for the second poly, right? Then you do the next number. To do that will be what? Then multiply all the poly. Okay, then minus 30, right? The outer, the last. Okay, then what do we have? X squared plus what? Oops, not x squared, x fourth, right? Then this is x squared minus 30. Right? We just practice some. So this one, 5m minus 2 to the square. You can just look at the problem, do it yourself. Then check the result with the board here, right? And if it's different, you look over, see which number make difference on your paper, then you can correct and identify your own mistakes. That way, you can do better, right? So that would be 5m minus 2, 5m minus 2, instead of just listening. Okay, you do need to do it yourself. So 5m and 5m is what? 25m squared, right? Then first term times the following poly is negative 10m, right? And this one inner is what? 2 and 5 minus, oops, where is that x from? Okay, this one is another 10m, then this one will be plus 4, right? Then we combine like terms, would be m minus what? 20m. Don't write the m squared, right? Same term, then like terms, then you keep the term. Okay, you do have to have hands-on so you can identify your mistakes. Otherwise, you wouldn't know. Okay, so this one is fraction, then but the method is the same. So first term, 1/2 times 1/3 is what? 1/6, right? Then x squared, right? Then outer, so 1/2 times negative 6. So you put a 1 underneath, cross cancel. That would be what? Negative 3x, right? Then this one, inner, 3 times 1/3, that would be what? 1x. So you plus 1x or just x. Then the last one, right? So 3 times negative 6 minus 18, right? Then we'll combine like terms. That would be 1/6 x squared minus 2x minus 18, right? Okay. So that would be our special product. 2 terms times 2 terms. That's what we are practicing. Okay. So let's take a look. Certain condition. If you have 12 times 2 times 5, right? You can just multiply 12 times 2 is what? 24. 24 times 5 is what? 120, right? Or you can do it this way. You see 2 times 5 is a simple number, 10. 12 times 10 is a simple number, 120. Okay? So which way looks easier? This way, right? So for numbers, you can do it this way. Same thing if for polynomials, same thing, it can happen. Right? So you can do it, these 2 terms, right? 2 polys, then mono times bino, right? Or you can do the back 2 first, you multiply by poly. Okay, because right now those numbers are smaller, then smaller number times mono, it's very easy. Mono just distribute to everyone. Okay, otherwise you multiply the first 2, become bigger thing, then multiply another binomial, then become 2 big things multiplied together. Okay, so we just keep the number small. We can just do the binomial times binomial first, then do the monomial at the end. That would be the easiest way. That's what we are saying. Okay, so you can do it. If you don't mind, you can still do that way. The first one times the second one, then times the third one. That's fine. But if you keep the things smaller, then leave the mono at the end to multiply it, that would be easier. So we do this way. So 2x times 2x is what? 2x squared. Then the outer 2x times 3 is minus 6x. Right? The inner, okay, plus 5x. The last minus 15. So what do we have? We will have 2x squared minus x minus 15, right? Because you can see all those coefficients are smaller, then when you multiply them, it's easier to handle. Then you put the monomial in front and multiply them, it will be much easier because 1 term times simple one, direct. It's more direct. So this times this will be what? 6x fourth, right? And this times this minus what? 3x squared, and x will be x cubed, right? And last one, 3 and 15 minus 45 with what? X squared. So just to show you, things happen this way. You can just move things around when you do the multiplying, okay? So it's not just a stick to particular way. You can be flexible as well. Then let's see a special thing. We call it the square of a binomial. Okay, a binomial means what? 2 terms. Then you take a square. That's what we are talking about. So it has a special characteristics. Okay, so let's see. Am I doing the square of a binomial? So what does this one mean? It means what? You multiply it, okay? So you multiply itself twice, right? Then you do your FOIL. So x times x is what? X squared. X times 1 is x. The bottom 1 times x is x. 1 times 1 is 1, right? Then when we add it together, what do we have? We have x squared plus what? 2x plus 1, right? We try to show you if I do this, x plus 2 squared, what do I have? Right? Still the square of binomial. If we do the square of binomial, it has certain patterns. So we just try to show you the patterns. Okay? So x times x is what? X squared. X times 2, 2x, right? The bottom one, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is what? 4. Then you combine like terms. That would be what? X squared plus 4x plus 4. Right? So it all ends up what? Trinomial. Okay? Then, do you see the patterns? Okay, so you find out the first one is trinomial. So first one would be the first x take square. Then last one, 1, it be 1 square. Then what happened to the middle one? Middle one, they will multiply this and this. Since they are the same, they will end up, these two things combined together will be the middle one twice of them, right? That means you multiply these two things and double it would be your middle one. So like this one, x would be what? X squared. Then 2 squared would be what? 4, right? The middle term would be what? X times 2 would be what? 2x. And double it would be what? 4x. Right? If you have, instead of x plus 1, if you have x minus 1 squared, what would you have? Is that still the square of binomial? Right? A binomial takes a square, except that you have a minus. If you have a minus, you will do it twice, still same, x squared, this one minus x, and middle one minus x, -1 times -1 plus 1. So you put it together will be what? X squared minus x, 2x plus 1, right? So you have what? First one, still first one square. The last one, you still, -1 takes square, become what? Becomes positive 1, right? But the middle one would be what? -1 times x is what? -x. Double it, -2x, right? So method is the same. If it's negative, the middle one would be double it of the negative, they multiply together. So if you have -2 squared, what do you think the answer would be? Would be x squared. The last one, -2 squared, will be 4. The minus, because it's negative, then x times 2 is 2x. Double it, it's 4x, right? So it's similar to that, except the middle part is what? Negative number. It depends here, right? So what we are saying is you have the square of binomial. The square of a binomial, you multiply itself twice, you will have what? Like this. A plus B squared. What do you think the answer should be? You should have a trinomial. It will be trinomial, right? So that will be A squared. Last one is B squared. What do you think the middle one? It's a positive, so it's A times B and double it. You should have 2AB, right? If it's A minus B squared, what do you think you should have? You should have A squared and B squared at the end. Middle part, double it, AB with minus and double it, 2AB. Right? So we are learning the first formula, or you just do the FOIL, you will end up the same thing. Okay? Right? Then can you see the patterns? So we don't need to do FOIL if, you can still do that, you get the same answer. But you can just use the formulas for the shortcut, right? So if I have x plus 3 squared, what do you think the answer is? We don't have to do the FOIL, you can tell the answer. So you have trinomials, right? First term will be what? X squared. Last term will be 3 squared, will be what? 9. The middle one will be what? Multiply them together is what? 3x. Double it would be what? Plus 6x. Is that right? You can do negative part. On the right hand side, they are the same, except the middle sign would be different. Okay? So if you have x plus 4 squared, will be what? 3 terms. Right? First one is x squared. Last one is 16 4 squared plus. Middle one is 4 times x, 4x. Double it would be 8x. Right? So it's just a shortcut. You can just write the answer right away. If you have x plus y squared, what do you think you should have? Would be trinomial, right? The square of binomial end up is trinomial. So first one, x squared. Last one, y squared. Middle one, x times y, xy. Double it, become 2xy. Right? Okay. Then let's look the page 43. We have more examples. So we just do the addition one. Then on the right hand side, subtraction will be the same. So it's what? The square of a binomial. The square of the binomial. We should have what? Trinomial. Right? So first square, 2x, take square, 2x times 2x, 4x squared, right? 1 square is 1. How about middle one? 2x times 1, 2x. Double it, 4x. That will be your answer. Right? So we are just doing a shortcut, right? So trinomial, first term, 3x squared, 3x times 3x, 9x squared, right? Then 1, take a square, plus 1. Middle one, it's a plus, 3x times 1, 3x. Double it, 6x. Right? Next one, 4x plus 1, take a square, a trinomial. First term, 4x squared, 6x squared, 4x times 4x. 1 squared, 1. Middle one, 4x times 1, 4x. Double it, 8x. Right? So, pretty straightforward, right? How about this one? 2x squared, 2x times 2x, 4x squared. Last term, 5 squared, 25. Middle one is plus. Then you multiply them together. 2x times 5, 10x. Double it, 20x. Right? And 3x plus 5 squared, right? Trinomial. First one, 3x take square, 9x squared. Last one, 5 take square plus 25. Middle one, 3x times 5, 15x. Double it, 30x. Right? In the class, we will let you do the following, but here, we just do it together here. Right? We say 3 terms. Okay, 3 terms. Right? First one, 2x take square, 4x squared. Right? Then last one, 3y take square, 9y squared. 3y times 3y. Sometimes for the test, you write 3 here instead of 9. And you write, sometimes you write 3y squared. Or you write what? You write the 9 correctly, but the y times y is y squared. Then you just write 9y. Watch out for that. Okay? Don't write 9y squared here or 3. Okay? Sometimes you will write what? You will write 3y squared on your test. Don't do that. Sometimes you will write 9y, forgot about y squared. Sometimes you forget about take 3 squared, also take y squared. You will do that on the test. Okay? So you watch out for that. How about middle one? 2x times 3y. Middle one times both of them and double it. 2x times 3y will be what? 6xy. Double it, 12xy. Okay? Then if we have 5a plus 7b squared will be what? 3 terms. Right? First one, 5a would be 25a squared. Okay, last one, 7b times 7b would be what? 49b squared, right? Middle one, 5a times 7b would be 35ab. Double it, 70ab. Right? Okay, so let's see. If you have x squared minus 7y to the square. So what do you think? 3 terms, right? Middle one is negative, means negative here, positive, still positive, last one. So first one, x squared times x squared. That would be what? X fourth, right? Then last one would be what? 7y times 7y. That would be what? 49y squared. Right? The middle one would be what? Multiply this 2 and double it. So you would do what? X squared times 7y. That would be what? 7x squared y. Right? Then double it, you should have what? 14x squared y. That would be your answer. Okay? So main thing is pay attention to those. Okay? So you will have x plus y squared, right? Don't write what? X squared plus y squared. You don't distribute your 2 because you have 2 terms times 2 terms. 2 terms times 2 terms. You have trinomial. Okay? Same thing as xy squared is what? don't write this way. Don't do that. It's still a trinomial. It's what? First square and last square. And middle part is they multiply these two and twice. So remember, just don't distribute your 2. It's not like an xy square. If you multiply just one term, you can do that. Right? But not the 2 terms binomial. You have to do the FOIL to do that. Okay? So we are doing what? The square of a binomial. So you can have a shortcut. Just do plug in. First term take a square. Last term take a square. Right? Then middle part, you need to multiply them both and double it. Okay? So we just did a square of binomial. Can be 2 things added together, multiply twice, or something subtract and multiply twice, right? Then your shortcut would be this. Okay? Then we are still doing what? Special products. Binomial times binomial. And this one, the square of the binomial you turned out is what? Trinomials. Right? After that, it will be a trinomial. And let's see, another case is we are going to multiply something different, all right? Called the sum and the difference of 2 terms. Let's see, what do we mean by that? Okay, that means I'm going to have 2 terms. Simple one, if x plus x and 1, right? 2 terms. One is sum, one is difference. If one is plus, one is minus. I'm going to multiply this style. I'm still doing what? Binomial and binomial, special product, right? Multiply the sum and the difference of 2 terms. And let's see what it ends up. Okay? Or we are talking about what? A plus B times A minus B, right? Sum and the difference. 2 same thing, but one is the sum, one is the difference. Then they have certain patterns, not like those. Both are same. A plus B, A plus B. Another one is A minus B, A minus B. Now it's what? One is A plus B, one is A minus B. Okay? Let's see what kind of patterns we have. So if I have A, we do the simple one to start, right? So x times x, x squared, x times -1 minus x, right? Then bottom one will be 1 plus x, 1 times x plus x, 1 times 1 minus 1, right? See what happened? Because 1 is plus, 1 is minus, you middle part cancel out. It was 2 terms times 2 terms, you have 4 terms. However, the middle part, because 1 is plus, 1 is minus, cancel out. You end up what? X squared minus 1. You end up, it's a binomial. It's not like here, it's trinomial. Okay? If we have x plus 2 times x minus 2, do we have, right, a sum, a difference of 2 terms, then we multiply them together. So we do the same thing, x times x, x squared, x times -2 minus 2x, right? Then here, 2 times x plus 2x, 2 times -2 minus 4, middle part cancel out, so what do we have? x squared minus 4. So one is sum, one is difference. The middle part cancel out. We end up what? Only a binomial. So binomial is what? The first one multiplied together and minus second one multiplied together. Right? So the formula for the what? Multiplication of the sum and difference of two terms will end up of what? A binomial, right? Means a plus b times a minus b. Your result should be what? A squared minus b squared. A shortcut. You know, you can still do the FOIL and you end up the same thing. Or you can do it directly. You can end up just a binomial. So if we have x plus 3 times x minus 3, what do you think the answer should be? First square minus second square. Then minus 3 squared. That would be 9. That's all you need to do. You can just write answer directly, a shortcut from the what? The formula, right? So if a plus b times a minus b, that will be what? A squared minus b squared, right? So if we have this one, 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. What do you think? First square, 2x, 2x, 4x squared. And 1, 1, minus 1, right? A binomial. You can just write the answer directly if you remember your formula. Okay? And this one, 2x, 2x, 4x squared, and plus and minus. 3 times 3, 9. Done. Right? If you have 2x plus 3y times 2x minus 3y, what do you think? 2x times 2x, 4x squared, and minus 3y times 3y, 9y squared. Right? So if you do the next one, if you have x minus 1/4 times x plus 1/4, can you do the same thing with fraction? Yes, because one is the same thing, the sum, another one is the difference of two terms. So all you have to do just first square minus second one, 1/4 times 1/4 is what? 1/16. That's all you need. Okay? If you have 3x squared plus 5y times what? 3x squared minus 5y. Can you do the same thing? So 3x squared times 3x squared is what? 9x squared, right? 5y times 5y is what? 25y squared. Then you just minus. Then that would be your answer. Right? So the formula would be what? A plus b times a minus b equals what? A squared minus b squared. Right? Then let's look at this one. You have first one, 2 times x plus 7. Okay, let's write over here. 2x plus 7, x minus 7. What do you think? So if you do, we just talk about mono times bino, you can do that, then it will be a bigger number. Especially you can see the back, you already have formula to plug in, right? So that would be what? You can just do 2. You can do this because you have formula already, right? So that would be what? A sum, a difference. That would be x squared minus 49, right? Then you distribute them. The mono is much easier. So that would be 2x squared minus what? 98. Right? Next one. So you have x minus 1/3 times x plus 1/3. Can you use this? Just like this. We'll just do it again. Practice again. Okay? Then when you come back to this, then you make a mistake. Alright? You will write x squared plus 1/9 because you just learned that. Don't do that. Right? Because we say what? The square of a binomial is a trinomial. Okay? So you should have what? Trinomial. First one is what? X squared. Last one is what? 1/3 times itself. Don't give me 1/6. Okay? 1/3 times 1/3 is what? 1/9. And the middle part is what? These two multiply together and double it. So it's what? X times 1/3, right? Which is what? 1/3 x, right? Then you double it. 2 times 1/3 x is what? You put 1 underneath, so it's what? 2/3 x. So you should have 2/3 x here. So that would be your answer. You need to practice those. Okay? Instead of just listening, it makes sense. But when you do it, then you will be rusty. Okay? So you have to have hands-on practice yourself. Right? So that would be our section 6.4.